Welcome to Life Will Be. I'm your host, Lydia T. Blanco. Thank you for joining me and for deciding that this is a resourceful way to spend your time. Speaking of time, it is that time of year personally for me to create a strategy for my favor in my life. You're probably like, wait, what? I have a personal mission statement and goals and vision for my life. I kind of set them based on what it is that I'm planning to do. But when I think about who I am, how I show up in the world, and what it is that I want to do and how I want to live, it is key for me to think about the strategy for all of those things. It starts with my morning routine. Before I get out of the bed, I say thank you. Expressing gratitude for another day, a moment in time to live freely, have the activity of my limbs and all the things, okay, is where it's at for me first thing in the morning, right? Before I reach for my phone and read the word, I'm thinking about His goodness in my life and giving thanks for a new day. You know, there's so much that I aspire to accomplish, experience, and have. But in order for any of those things to really come into fruition, what I realize is that I do have to set the foundation and think about how it is that I am going to even be able to do the things that I want, right? And that enablement piece for me is strategy. But it's not about the doing itself, it's about being and how I am living. You know my line. How you live your life is your business. And when you think about business, you have to have systems and best practices and routines in place. I talk about gratitude as like the first part of my life and strategy, but prayer and deep devotion. I want a lot, and it is important for my life and my daily habits to be proof of the favor that is on my life. I've been afforded many opportunities beyond the professional, beyond material gain, but just in life. To me, it's not by coincidence. It is truly divine order, which means that I have to live my life differently. You know, saying my affirmations, thinking about my spiritual hygiene, my physical hygiene, and how I take care of myself is a part of that strategy. I am a walker, okay? I physically walk a lot in New York City or wherever I go. I try to be on the ground, but it keeps my mind going, my body moving, and energy flowing through me. Being grounded is definitely a part of my strategy for well being and the favor on my life. We can't do anything well if we are not well, right? Being heavy, I'm not 100 pounds, okay, even though at 5'2", 5'3", they say I probably should be around 120, right? But just staying light and lighthearted is definitely a part of my spiritual practice and my wellness practice to be in alignment with the favor on my life. You're probably like, what? Now, I am not one to body shame. I'm not fat phobic or any of those things. But it is important for me personally to be mindful of the weight that I'm carrying physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. I have to be in shape. In order to do the things that I believe I have been called to do, I must be pursuing the best shape of my life daily. I went and grabbed some things and I have this sizable sticky note. I don't know how big it is. It's larger than 5x7. And I'm going to place it in the corner where there is a bike and I want to say like I don't know what you call that, like a chest thingy. Clearly, I do not go to the gym often, but I walk a lot. And I love Pilates, but a bar, okay? And I'm telling myself, okay, Lydia, it is time to get lighter on your feet. I don't have children. I'm not married, but I want to be in the best shape of my life. And I know some people are like, oh, well, no, it's about you personally and knowing how much weight is too much weight for you to be carrying. Speaking of that, as a part of my favor for my life, staying regulated. I know I talk about therapy and coaching and community often, but it is something that you have to do if you want to win. A part of your winning strategy should be about being in community with others and finding trusted partners who can hold you accountable. Right now, I'm like, oh my goodness, who can be a mentor to me in my life? I am a mentor to a number of people through formal obligations and commitments and informally as well, right? There are no papers involved or anything like that. It's just like, hey, I want to see you win. I also need some of that because I am a giver. I am opening my heart to receive. And while I've had mentors in the past and have identified people who I think would be incredible to be mentors in my life, there's often been like this rift. And I have prayed about it. I have tried to come to terms with like some of the challenges I have with authority and all these things, if I'm being honest. But now I'm like, no, outside of family, close friends, I need an advisor, a mentor, across categories. I really want someone who I can learn from, listen to, and partner with in life because I want direction. I think I've always craved structure and discipline, all the things, right? I think that comes from my parents and the way I was brought up, different yearnings. But when you are called to greatness, and I believe that I am, you have to have those kind of support systems in place. You cannot go at life alone, which leads me to my next point in asking for help. Oh, hello, somebody. Hi. Oh, somebody is Lydia. Okay, hello. I realize that in struggling to ask for help, you struggle to receive, okay? And I am at a point where I am going, who I am and who I'm becoming has this requirement for me to know what I need and be able to verbalize that and ask for help. There aren't many people who are going to come into your life and naturally connect the dots for you, advocate on your behalf, and get things done. You feel me? Proactively. So it is on you to ask for help. One thing that has been really essential in this season in my life is getting quiet and becoming clear about what I need and finding ways to communicate that gently to other people. People can't guess what you need, so you have to find a way to garner the support and think about who it is that you can ask for what it is that you need. Sometimes when you begin to talk and you don't know what you need, maybe people will be able to consult and be like, so actually, it sounds like what you need is X, Y, and Z. Favor ain't fair. We have all heard that before. And I remember hearing that and thinking, oh, what does that mean? Like, is somebody better than somebody? They have more? I think it goes both ways. Not everyone has favor, but with favor also comes opportunities and challenges. I don't think any of those things are perceivably bad, but at the same time, you have to know what to do with that. And that's where strategy comes in. If you know that you live a big life and you're believing for even bigger, it is on you to concentrate, weed out distractions, be disciplined and clear. Sometimes we fall out of alignment or we're imbalanced because there's so much noise and we haven't had the opportunity to sit with our favor. Therefore, we can't identify it as such, and we wonder what's going on. Being pulled in so many different directions, or it's just like, I just don't understand. And the thing is, we don't understand. Sometimes we do have to surrender our understanding, but we also have to get quiet. There are seasons of necessary isolation and solitary confinement. I know that sounds really hardcore, but I believe that. Sometimes you have to sit with yourself, sit with God, sit with your thoughts, and be devoted and committed to who you are so that you can experience your own favor as well. I think if you're anything like me, you've had the experience where other people experience your favor and you're wondering, hmm, if only I could experience that. Oh, is there enough for me? Am I giving it all away? And that's where that separation comes from, right? Not to be disconnected, but to be connected to the source and to discern what it is that you need to keep for yourself. You deserve to experience goodness. You deserve to experience your goodness. But you have to have systems in place for rest, peace, relaxation, for your spiritual practice, being in devotion to yourself, in relationship to the Most High. That's where the alignment comes from. I don't think favor is all about what it is to be gained, but it's about understanding how blessed you are. There are times when we don't even have the space to acknowledge the abundance of resources and love, people, all of the things that we have in our life because there is no strategy in place. There is a lack of awareness, and that's on us. No one can create the experience of knowing for you but you. And so you have to just kind of like look around and look within and really identify what it is. I was joking around with somebody because we were watching TV and it was like someone kept saying, ain't on you, it's in you. And I'm just like, okay. The favor is in us. And when you live in a way where you are able to radiate it, illuminate it, that light is something that shines, right? And it is also something that will protect and cover you, I believe, right? But you have to know what to do with it, You really do. And so some of the things that you can do with it is practice gratitude, right? Trust yourself. Trust that you have a calling on your life. And when it comes to who you are and what you know, act like it and act like you know. I spoke about our favor being experienced by other people and wanting to experience it for yourself. What I have to say to that point is do not get weary in your well doing. Sometimes it's just like, okay, all right, you know? But everything is not about us, right? And sometimes we are being used for the Most High's glory. And so I say again, do not get weary in your well doing. Yes, you deserve to experience you too. Use your discernment. You're wise. You got this. And then get organized. Create those routines and those systems. That means that you may need to declutter, be it your inbox, your contact list, your closet, your physical space, your heart space. Get organized so that you can get out of your way and experience your favor and create a plan and a strategy, outline things, and begin to visualize what your favor applied looks like in your life. I know that requires a lot of trust, a lot of discipline, and concentration. It's time to lock in. You have to focus. And concentration requires continuity. It is time. It's time. And once you figure it out, I think that it'll apply to so many different areas of your life, right? Life will be, you might as well just have a strategy, okay? It is time to create a strategy for your favor. It is. I know I am at the drawing board, and if you are there with me, let me know what practices you plan to implement. There is so much to be gained, and there's always so much to do, right? But take your time, extend grace to yourself, love yourself through the process, and remember to be satisfied in transition as you go to and from the drawing board. Apply, figure out what works, test things, what doesn't work, and go on. How you live your life is your business. Have a strategy for how you live your life and for your favor. Look, this is something that I'm still sitting with. I didn't envision this episode being very long, but I hope that it has met you where you are. If so, let me know your thoughts. Of course, you can leave a comment wherever you are tuning in from and reach out at letsworklydia@gmail.com or connect with me on Instagram. All the information is in the show notes. Y'all, be well, be kind to yourself, and until next time, peace.